Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We often get caught up in the rush of life, wanting things to happen quickly, seeking instant results, and pushing ourselves to meet deadlines that only we set. It's easy to feel like we're falling behind when we compare ourselves to others or when we don't see the immediate progress we expect. But we must remember that God's plan for us is far more expansive than anything we could imagine. The path He has laid out is tailored specifically for us, designed not only to bring us to our desired destination, but to shape us into the person we need to be along the way. It's important to recognize that God's timing is not limited to what we see right now. We may think we're ready for something, but God knows the exact moment we need to step into our purpose. If things were to happen on our timetable, we might miss the lessons, the growth, and the people that are essential for our journey. What seems like a delay is often a divine setup orchestrated to bring us to a place where we're not just ready for the blessing, but ready to handle it with grace and wisdom. There's a peace that comes with trusting that God sees beyond our current circumstances. We might only see the next step, but He sees the entire picture, the intricate connections, the timing, the preparation, and the perfect alignment of events. Even when things don't unfold as quickly as we want, we can take comfort knowing that His plan is being fulfilled exactly as it should. What we see as a detour may be the very thing that leads us to the right place at the right time. Our lives are far from random, and each moment is a thread in the tapestry God is weaving. His plan is larger than our immediate desires, bigger than our timelines, and richer than we can comprehend. When we step back and trust that He is orchestrating everything for our good, we begin to experience a new level of peace and patience. Our ultimate fulfillment doesn't come from rushing or pushing ahead, but from aligning with the perfect timing He has already set in motion. Patience is not just about sitting idly by and waiting for something to happen. It's a powerful process of growth, a time when we are being shaped, refined, and prepared for what's ahead. Every moment of waiting is part of God's divine plan to make us stronger and more resilient. It's easy to see delays as setbacks, but in reality, they are opportunities for us to grow in ways we may not fully understand at the moment. While we wait, God is working behind the scenes, preparing us for something greater than we could have imagined. In these seasons of waiting, we often face challenges that test our character and our faith. But each challenge is an opportunity for us to build endurance and develop the strength needed for the future. The person you are becoming in this waiting period is the person you need to be to carry the blessings and responsibilities God has in store. Without the waiting, we may not be ready to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for us. Waiting also teaches us to trust in God's timing. It can be difficult when things don't happen as quickly as we expect, but the delays are not detours. They are part of the process of developing us into the person who can handle the magnitude of the blessings that are coming. Just like a seed needs time to grow and mature before it bears fruit, so do we. The best things in life require time, preparation, and cultivation, and in the waiting, God is making sure we are ready to step into our greatness when the time is right. The beauty of patience is that it molds us into the people God has called us to be, even when it feels like we're standing still. It helps us learn the value of trusting God's plan, understanding that He is never late and that His perfect timing will bring us into a season of fulfillment and abundance. Instead of seeing the waiting as a time of inactivity, we should view it as a vital part of the preparation for greatness. In the end, our patience not only brings us closer to our goals, but also transforms us into individuals capable of embracing and sustaining those goals with grace and strength. It's easy to become frustrated when things don't happen the way we expect or within the time frame we envision. We see the small pieces of our lives and think we know what's best, but we must remember that God sees the entire picture. His perspective is far broader and more complete than our own. While we focus on the details, He is weaving everything together with precision. ensuring that each moment and each experience aligns with His divine purpose for us. We may not understand why things are unfolding the way they are, but we can trust that God, in His wisdom, knows exactly what He is doing. When we're in the midst of uncertainty or delay, it's easy to question God's timing. We might feel as though we're being left behind or that our dreams are slipping away. However, what we can't see in the moment is that God is working on our behalf in ways we don't always recognize. He is orchestrating circumstances, aligning people, and preparing us for something far greater than we can imagine. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, God is still moving behind the scenes, ensuring that everything will come to pass in His perfect timing. God's timing is never random or accidental. He is always right on time, according to His plan, even when we think it's too late. The delays we experience are not a sign of failure, but a reminder that God is in control and His plans are greater than our own. He knows the right moment to open the doors that are meant for us, and we can take comfort in the fact that He is never late. His timing is not just about what happens to us. It's about shaping us into the people who are ready to step into those blessings. Trusting that God knows what He's doing brings peace and rest to our hearts. When we stop trying to rush the process or control the outcome, we can begin to experience the freedom that comes from surrendering to His will. The more we trust in His wisdom, the more we can embrace the journey, knowing that He is guiding us every step of the way. When things don't go as planned, it's not because God has forgotten us, it's because He is setting everything up perfectly for the next season of our life. We often find ourselves so focused on the end goal, the promise, or the destination that we forget to appreciate the journey that gets us there. The road to fulfillment is rarely a straight path. It's filled with twists, turns, and delays. While it's natural to desire the outcome, we must remember that the process is just as important as the promise itself. It's through the challenges, the waiting, and the struggles that we develop the strength, wisdom, and character necessary to carry the blessings God has prepared for us. God's promises are unwavering and they are always true, but the path to those promises isn't always immediate. Sometimes the process feels long and we wonder why it's taking so long to see the results we desire. However, it's important to understand that every season we go through is an integral part of the preparation. If we rush through the process, we may miss the lessons and experiences that are shaping us into the person God knows we need to become to fully embrace His promises when they come to fruition. It's not about reaching the destination quickly. It's about becoming who we are meant to be along the way. Embracing the process means being present in every moment, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It means choosing to grow in patience, gratitude, and trust, knowing that each step brings us closer to what God has promised. Instead of getting frustrated with the wait, we can shift our focus to the opportunity to learn and develop. The journey is not just about achieving a goal, it's about being refined and equipped for that goal. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to build the resilience we'll need to manage the blessings that lie ahead. When we embrace the process, we begin to see the beauty in the unfolding of God's plan. We realize that the wait isn't a wasted time, it's a time of preparation. As we trust the timing of the journey, we allow God to work in us and through us, ensuring that when the promise is fulfilled, we're ready to handle it with the grace, humility, and strength that He has cultivated in us along the way. The process is part of the miracle, and when we embrace it, we experience God's faithfulness in ways that we never could if we were simply focused on the destination. In a world where everything is expected at the snap of a finger, the idea of waiting can feel frustrating, even discouraging. We live in a time where instant gratification is the norm, and anything that takes time can seem like a delay or a setback. But when we wait on God, we must shift our perspective. Waiting isn't a pause in our lives, it's a period of preparation. In the waiting room, God is actively working behind the scenes, aligning the people, circumstances, and opportunities that we can't even see yet. What may seem like a delay is actually God's way of getting everything ready for us at the right time. Every moment spent waiting is not wasted time. Just because we're not seeing immediate results doesn't mean nothing is happening. God is orchestrating things we cannot see, putting pieces into place and preparing us for the next season. There's always something happening in the waiting. It's a time where we are refined, where our patience is tested, and where our trust in God grows. Again, these moments are not in vain. They are essential to our development and to the fulfillment of His promises in our lives. Trusting that God is working even when we don't see it brings peace to the process. Sometimes the waiting room is necessary because there are things we need to learn or lessons we need to embrace before stepping into what's next. We may not be able to understand the reasons behind the delay, but we can rest assured that God's timing is perfect. He knows what we need, and He knows when we are truly ready to step into the opportunities He has for us. The waiting room is a place of growth where we are strengthened for the future. It's a place where our faith is deepened and our understanding of God's perfect plan is expanded. The temptation in the waiting room is to get anxious or to push things ahead on our own terms. But when we trust in God's timing, we can experience a sense of peace that transcends our circumstances. The delay isn't something to fear or resist. It's a vital part of the process that makes us ready for the blessings that are coming. So instead of viewing the waiting room as a period of inactivity, we can embrace it as a time of preparation, knowing that God is doing things behind the scenes to ensure that when it's time, we'll be ready to step into the life He's prepared for us. There are moments in life when we become eager for something we believe will bring us happiness or fulfillment, only to realize later that it wasn't the right time. It's easy to get discouraged when the things we desire don't materialize as quickly as we'd hoped, but we must remember that God's timing is always for our protection. Sometimes what we think we want today isn't what's best for us in the long run. God, in His wisdom and love, sees the bigger picture. He knows the timing that will bring us the most good and shield us from potential harm. What feels like a delay might actually be a safeguard, preventing us from stepping into situations that we aren't yet equipped to handle. There are seasons in our lives when we desire blessings or opportunities, but we are simply not ready to receive them. God, in His grace, withholds those things until we've grown, matured, and are spiritually and emotionally prepared. His delays are not rejections, they are acts of protection. Just as a child may not be ready to drive a car or handle responsibility until they're older, there are things in our lives that we may not be able to handle until the right moment. God is looking out for us, ensuring that we don't step into circumstances that could harm us or cause unnecessary stress and anxiety. God's protection isn't always visible to us in the moment. We may feel disappointed when things don't happen as quickly as we would like, but God is keeping us from things that could derail us, things we may not even be able to see. The job, the relationship, the opportunity we long for might not be right for us at this moment. And trusting that God knows what's best for us gives us peace. His delays are not a reflection of our inadequacy or His lack of love. They are a reflection of His care for our future and His commitment to our ultimate well-being. In the waiting, we are being protected from stepping into situations we're not yet prepared for. God's timing ensures that when the right moment arrives, we'll be equipped to stay into the blessings He has prepared for us. What feels like a no today is simply God saying, not yet, because I have something better for you. and I want to make sure you are ready for it. Trusting in God's protection during these times helps us stay focused on His plan and embrace the waiting, knowing that He is working everything out for our good. In a world where we are taught to take control of our lives and make things happen on our own, it's difficult to fully surrender to God's timing. We often feel the pressure to rush, to push, or to force outcomes according to our own agendas. We want things to happen now, and we fear that if we don't take matters into our own hands, we might miss out or fall behind. But surrendering to God's timing is not about giving up. It's about trusting in His wisdom and releasing the burden of control. It's a decision to let go of our own understanding and embrace the peace that comes from trusting that He is guiding us every step of the way. When we surrender to God's timing, we step into a new level of faith. It's a leap into the unknown, a willingness to trust that God knows what is best for us, even when we can't see the whole picture. Letting go of control requires courage, but it also opens the door to a deeper sense of peace. The pressure to make things happen on our own begins to fade, and we can rest in the certainty that God is leading us in the right direction at the right time. This peace doesn't come from our circumstances. It comes from the confidence that God is in control and His plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Surrendering to God's timing doesn't mean we stop working or striving for our goals. It means we stop forcing things to happen according to our own timeline and instead trust that God's timing is perfect. When we release control, we allow Him to lead us through each season with patience, knowing that every step is purposeful. There will be moments of waiting and uncertainty, but in those moments, we learn to lean into God's peace, trusting that He is shaping us for the next chapter in our lives. It's not about making things happen on our terms. It's about learning to trust that God's plan is far greater than anything we could ever create on our own. As we establish new demographics, I eat you up, within the next 10 years. As we surrender to God's timing, we experience freedom, the freedom to trust, to wait, and to know that our lives are in the hands of the one who holds the future. The more we release control, the more we allow God to work in us, and the more we are able to embrace the journey He has set before us. When we let go, we open ourselves to a life of peace, purpose, and trust, knowing that with each passing moment, God is guiding us toward His perfect will. When we trust God's timing, we unlock the potential for incredible blessings in our lives. It can be difficult to hold on to hope when things don't seem to be moving in the direction we want. But God has a way of working things out in ways that exceed our expectations. The waiting period may feel long, and the journey may seem uncertain, but every step taken in faith brings us closer to the incredible things God has in store for us. Trusting in His timing opens the door to limitless possibilities that go beyond anything we could have imagined for ourselves. God's plan is not only good, but is filled with greatness. Often He saves the best for last, meaning that what we're waiting for might be far more beautiful, fulfilling, and abundant than we could ever dream. When we learn to trust Him, we discover that the very best things are often worth the wait. The promises He has made to us aren't just simple desires. They are extraordinary blessings that will bring us joy, purpose, and fulfillment. What may seem like delays or detours along the way are simply steps in the process of God preparing us for what He knows we are truly ready to receive. While we're waiting, it's easy to get discouraged or lose sight of the bigger picture. But when we keep believing and keep trusting, we begin to see the beautiful truth that God is working behind the scenes. The things we've prayed for and hoped for are still on their way, and in His perfect timing, He will surprise us with blessings that we never even imagined. It's not just about waiting, it's about trusting that the best is coming and that it will be more than worth everything we've gone through. The beauty of trusting God's timing is that we never know what wonderful surprises He has in store for us. As we continue to believe, as we continue to trust, we can rest in the assurance that His perfect plan will unfold in ways that will astound us. The best is yet to come, and with each day that passes, we move one step closer to experiencing the fullness of God's promises, blessings beyond our wildest dreams. Trust in His timing and watch how He will reveal just how much He has been working for your good all along. As we reflect on God's perfect timing, we realize that every season of waiting, every moment of uncertainty, and every delay is part of His divine plan. It's easy to grow impatient or frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we want, but when we trust in God's timing, we open ourselves to a future filled with unimaginable blessings. His plans are always bigger, greater, and more fulfilling than anything we could create on our own. The journey may not always be easy, but it is through each step that we are refined, strengthened, and prepared for the amazing things He has in store for us. Learning to trust in God's timing requires patience, faith, and surrender. We have to let go of our need to control the outcome and embrace the process, knowing that God is working behind the scenes. Every delay, every pause is not a sign of denial, but a season of preparation. It is in these moments that we grow stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling the blessings that are on the way. When we trust that God knows what He is doing, we find peace in the waiting, knowing that His timing is always perfect. The waiting room is not wasted time. It is a time of growth, learning, and alignment with God's purpose. As we let go of the pressure to make things happen on our own, we begin to experience a deeper sense of peace. We realize that in God's timing, we are not just waiting for an opportunity or a blessing to come, but we are becoming the person we need to be to fully embrace and appreciate what is ahead. Trusting God's timing means believing that the best is yet to come and that His plans for us are far greater than anything we could have imagined. So, as you continue on your journey, remember that God is working in ways you can't yet see. Trust in His perfect timing, embrace the process, and know that the best is ahead. Keep believing, keep trusting, and watch how He will surprise you with blessings beyond your imagination. When we surrender to His plan, we open the door to a life filled with purpose, peace, and limitless possibilities. God's timing is always right, and His plans for you are always good. Thanks for watching.